what we're looking at here is Skyjack's ZB2044. It's a 20,000 pound telehandler. Has 44 foot 10 inches of lift height, and you can actually get 12,000 pounds up to that height. Seems like the feedback's creeping over a little bit, so I'll do my best to try and steer away from that. With this machine, obviously the 44 foot lift height, you actually also get really good horizontal reach. So we're just about 28 feet horizontal reach, and at that position you can actually get 7,000 pounds. So what you get with this machine is you get a very usable work envelope load chart. So it's not so much the 20,000 pounds, it's what you can do with things like 7,000 pounds. You can get 10,000 pounds out to 16 feet horizontal reach. It makes for a lot more options. On job sites and stuff like that, we're starting to get to a point where health and safety is becoming more of a priority and getting a little bit more visibility, which is a great thing. So we're starting to get away from the years where end user or the contractor is going to test his load by picking it up and seeing if the back tires come off the ground or not. So you can get away with doing a lot of stuff in the good old days with a 10,000 pound machine, which is the more common machine in the telehandler class. But obviously this one here, you can do it safely, you can do it properly with the load chart that we have. Also in Skyjack's telehandler lineup, we do have 10,000 pound telehandlers, both 44 foot and 56 foot, part of our VR range, and we also have an 8,000 pounder and a 6,000 pounder as well. So just to talk a little bit about this machine here, it is getting very close to the highway limits as far as weight goes. Gross weight on this is 45,000 pounds. You can still technically run that anywhere on a normal truck without a load permit. It's 102 inches wide, so transport, you do not need any special equipment, any special load permits to get this around on the national standard. So that definitely makes it unique. It's a really big machine that offers a lot of different applications, and you can move it around. It's a bit more mobile than some of the more specialty equipment, lifting, rigging equipment that you would typically see. On this side of the machine here, we've got the tank side. So we've got a 49-gallon fuel tank. This is a diesel machine powered by a Cummins 4.5 QSBC engine. Getting about 160 horsepower, and it's driving a Dana PowerShift 32,000 PowerShift transmission, 3 speeds forward, 3 speeds reverse, shift on the fly. Good quality components. And as far as axles go, we're using the Axle Tech axles, a little bit heavy duty. Obviously, you need to be able to handle the weight, the gross weight, and the capacity that this machine has. It is 4-wheel drive and also has 3 modes steering. So your standard steer modes, you have crab, round, or just front wheel, and that's selectable in the cab. We also have a steel hydraulic tank on this side, 55-gallon hydraulic tank. Again, a lot of steel in this machine. We do that for a reason. It's very robust, stands up to the harsher job sites that are out there, and we also need it for the counterweight as well, so that typically helps a bit too. The 45,000 pounds is actually required as to help you get that 20,000 pounds moved around the job site. You'll notice on the boom arm construction, it's plate boom arm construction. We're looking at a large amount of overlap on the boom sections. It provides really rigid feel to the operator. When you're picking up loads of this sort of capacity, you want to make sure that you have the confidence and the feel to be able to place them with precision. And as you can see, we've got dual lift cylinders, which also help with that too. So the lift cylinders on either side of the machine, well protected, again with some more steel. A fair bit of welding goes into these machines. It's quite a sight to see on the floor in production. Moving around to the back of the machine here, we've got engine access. It's inline engine setup. And again, I'm trying to get close to the machine so I can actually point this stuff out, but it doesn't seem to be cooperating too well. So under these steel covers which lift up, which I'll fully demonstrating, We do have full access to the engine, which is inside the frame, well protected, gives really good ground clearance, direct hookup to the drive shafts. That also helps with the weight and balance of the machine as well. Also helps with visibility too, where you can actually see I'm in a bit of a typical blind spot for a telehandler in this corner right now. But if we had a rear mount engine, it would be even worse than what we see here. So visibility is important on a job site too. You do have access to the rear of the machine, another compartment that opens up, again, steel doors. So very durable, not going to get damaged on the job site. In the back here we have some hydraulic manifolds, access, good serviceability. We also have our dual battery setup, which comes standard on this machine. I will ask Mitch to actually turn the machine around for us right now, and we'll get a look at the other side. This machine is outfitted with a few different options. We've got the road and light package on it, the boom work lights as well, which you're seeing as Mitch is driving around. Which is putting down the outriggers right now. As you can see, they are axle mount type of outrigger. What this allows is you can actually frame level with the outriggers down. Again, it's all about positioning the heavy loads that you're carrying with this machine with a little bit more precision and care than you might take with, say, a 2,000-pound load. You certainly don't want to be dropping 20,000 pounds onto the ground. It makes things a little bit messy and likely fairly noisy, noisier than the feedback we're getting here. And I'd really like to get around to the other side of the machine here, but on the back corner you can actually see a lift cylinder, a little hydraulic cylinder just tucked in right behind the wheel. And that is the axle lockout cylinder. So on this machine we do have an axle lockout feature. Once you get the boom above 45 degrees, that rear axle will lock using that cylinder. And what that gives you is a nice 4-point stance to give you a little bit more stability and comfort when you're positioning that load at height. And again, remember, we go 12,000 pounds with the outriggers down up to full height. So certainly adds a little bit more comfort and confidence for the operator. Speaking of comfort for the operator, we do have standard on this machine suspension adjustable seat, which Mitch is demonstrating. We also have a number of other standard features in here, like a tilt control box for the joysticks, which are pilot operator controlled. We do have dual joystick on this machine as opposed to single joystick, which would do everything. So this gives a little bit more precision. You can actually frame level while you're positioning your load, just to make sure everything's nice and square. Typically in a rough terrain application, you don't necessarily always have firm level or necessarily level ground, so that certainly helps out a lot. This cab is made by Safety Cab. It's showing the optional enclosed cab feature, and we do have heat as well as optional air conditioning on this particular machine. But you can see with the glass on the machine right now, it's fully enclosed, all-weather cab. Again, making things very comfortable for the operator. We do have a flashing light, which is part of the light kits packages that we have here. The controls are very simple, very operator intuitive. Your steer modes, axle, lockout and inching feature, as well as your outrigger controls are all toggles on the all steel durable control panel. We also have an engine monitor made by PowerView, which gives you some stats on the engine. The engine does have a computer in it. Being a tier 3 engine, you do need to have some emission control on that, so that allows us to get in there and get a little bit of diagnostic. And also, you can flip through the PowerView, get RPM readings, you can get your voltage system, you can get even fuel economy and some other things like that, as well as the diagnostic features. So handy for the operator there. And that covers some of the options we have. At the front, you'll see we have another cylinder, which is well protected, again, with more steel. Lots of steel, lots of welding, very robust. All steel covers on the machine for quick and easy access, but also protect all the components, the hydraulic components, which are up in the front. This front cylinder is for frame level, and we do have both sides of the machine. A little bit of a heavier machine of 45,000 pounds, we do need a little bit more power there to help balance that out and control the frame level. The outriggers we talked about, axle mount, but getting to the attachments, we do have a number of very unique attachments. What we're looking at here is actually a pipe and pole clamp. You would typically see these on a high capacity straight mass forklift for picking up pipe, pole in utility yards, oil and gas industry. But when you put that type of attachment on a telehandler, you're adding variable reach, which gives the operator, the yard guy, or whoever's handling the pipe a lot more options, driving the machine around. The frame level is another handy thing for being able to pick pipe off a truck or out of the yard, drop it onto a conveyor system and feed it into the plant, do the welding, position it, whatever you need to do. So having some of those unique features of a telehandler, like the frame level, and obviously the variable reach, you're improving the performance and efficiency in the field. This is an optional attachment. Basically how it would work is you would pick up a pipe, rather long sections of fairly heavy pipe, and then you can use the auxiliary hydraulic controls to clamp down on it and actually push it back into the L of the forks. And that gives a real secure feel to the pipe. You don't necessarily have to spend quite as much time trying to pick up the pipe in the center of gravity right at the center, so again helps speed things up and makes things a little bit safer on the job site. Standard equipment for this would be a 72-inch carriage with 60-inch forks, tapered standard pallet forks, and we do have a number of other carriage sizes. You can go 84, 96. You can get up to 96-inch long forks as well. We do have a side shift and fork positioner option. You can actually get both. So you can independently position the forks and also shift the whole carriage from side to side. We also have a few other high capacity options and attachments for this machine. This particular machine, very unique to this is we do have a 15,000 pound hydraulic winch attachment. We have a 5-foot jib boom, placing really heavy loads. And then we also have a bridge stripper, which is a bit of a unique attachment for pulling formwork or false work off of bridges. So makes things a little bit quicker when you have to shut down a highway, to get the formwork off after you do an overpass, do some work on an overpass. You can actually get it done fairly quick with that machine. So, and that pretty much brings me to the end of the walk around. Managed to stay away from the feedback a little bit. Do we have any questions from the audience? Katie? Yeah, Mitch, you want to drive the boom right out? While Mitch is doing this, you can see the easy to read load chart markers on here, as well as the dial indicator. Tell you what angle your boom arm is at, so you can quickly reference the load chart, make sure that you're within the guidelines of what you're actually trying to pick up. Mitch is out to just under 28 feet horizontal reach right now. Yeah, you can see there's no bowl in the boom arm at this, and being able to pick up 7,000 pounds from this position out here, you want to make sure that it's not going to start bouncing on you picking it up. So that's where the size of the boom arm, the plate construction, and the amount of overlap we have really help give a rigid feel. Thank you. Our booth is just back here. We'll have the telehandler up in the air so that you can see us with the pipe and pole clamp on it. So come by, visit us, take a look, closer look, hop in the cab. Thank you.